Shanti, welcome. So, I was just thinking tonight, just simply living. It's such a big thing, is it? Just simply living. But are we allowing ourselves to just simply living? So, under whose control are we simply living? So Baba's teaching us how to become masters of oneself. So, self-sovereigns, rulers of the world, which means myself, all my senses, everything. Doesn't mean you lock yourself up or do anything like that. It just means you start to enjoy life how you want to enjoy life, not how others want me to enjoy life because it suits them. So, and that's why just simple living, just simply living. And it doesn't mean what happens is we've ended up in a state, everyone gets, you go through life. When you're a young baby and a young child, that's when you're truly authentic. And once you grow up a bit, from then on, you have to prove yourself to someone else. You start identifying, you have your special identity. Then you have to try and keep up with that identity, whether it's study and school or sports person or whatever. And then you get married, and then you have another identity. Two identities become one sort of thing, and then you have children, and then simply living becomes really simple, simply hard. But anyway, it becomes different right through our stages of life. And it's not, you can't really become authentic again till you get to old age, then you'll see old aged people, they'll just tell you exactly what they think of you, like little children. They just say what they need to say, they don't care about how you feel or anything. They just say things. It's the same with old people, and they'll just tell you, what they think. So that's being authentic. And that's more important than love. When you think the most important thing you can be is authentic to yourself. It's more important than any love. That's what people are looking. So it's not having to prove yourself. You're worth anything, and you're not. And now we understand about soul presence. So when you're present in soul consciousness and your presence and consciousness, you're not fixing anything. You're not trying to heal anything. You're just living in the present. On the present and in presence. So past, present, and future are there. So your future is also living with you, and your past is also there. But your past is your wisdom. Not for everyone, but once we've made that recognition that as we go through our wardrobe and we're cleaning out all our junk from the mind, we're taking out all these old clothes we don't need, and all our emotions and things that happened to us when we were young or when we get old or whenever it happens. It can even be in the past birth, actually. A lot of things affect us more from our past birth. We carry around those samskaras or all the habits we have, and we're experiencing a lot of sorrow from that. But once we get to know, just to live simply, to a really simple life is such a good life, and you don't have to prove anything to anyone. So it's such it's a choice. You choose how you want to live, and once you live in your life how you want to do, it's not being selfish, but it means you're caring about yourself. That's true self-love. So, and once you start to learn to care about yourself with that self-love, then life becomes so simple in the sense that you'll get happiness out of the birds and the bees. I'm having so much fun at the moment. I've got a couple of pot plants, and we used to have a happy bamboo here, but it went all yellow. So I've had to pull it all apart, and then I'm watching all the roots grow, and it's given me so much happiness and joy and a purpose in life. It's like it's that's what real life is. It's like creating and sustaining and making them happy, and watching the plants go and see where they weren't happy and now they're happy. I end up putting them both in my room actually because the sun comes there in the morning, and it's not that they need sun, but they need that sunlight. So I'm living with two plants now in my bedroom. It's quite nice. I quite enjoy it, but that's simple really simple and fulfilling in my life, just to do something like that. Some people do gardening and some people do painting, and it can be anything, something creative that makes you feel I did that, I've created that, because we're all creators and we create our world, isn't it? So how am I creating my world? If I'm under the influence of my mother, my father, and my grandfather, and my grandmother, and all the way up, and I'm living under their control and their DNA and everything. So it's a big, big shift to break free of that, because granddad and grandma might have died some time ago, but they might want a cup of coffee. So through you, you're suddenly feeling that, yeah, I'm having a cup of coffee now. I feel like a coffee, because they think that body's theirs, They were the creator of that through your mother and father, you see. So, but you have to take that back, when you're living simply. So you have to break free from that. And a lot of people, it's very tough to do that because they have a lot of attachments to their family line, It's not easy for people, but when you want to become a master, one who's in control of oneself sovereign. So if you're going to belong to the golden age, you'd have to be free from all of those things. So you become just your own self. It might seem a bit lonely, but actually it's more fulfilling than having to fight and argue with someone that you're supposed to be living with. They have their ideas and you have your ideas, and then you didn't clean up your cup, or all these things are going on and on and on, and who's cooking tonight and who cooked last night and all those things, and who's what's what. So it's not a very simple life when you're living a life like that, but it can be if you can get the right partner. Then it's good. When you have two, it's a lot of beautiful company. But when you have expectations of others, then it's very, very hard to please. You can't make another person happy. People think you can make someone happy, but you can't. They can have their own happiness. If they say, "Oh, I enjoy your company," then I'm happy, I think that's different, isn't it? That what's just your company makes me happy, but you can't make me happy, so. And if you're not here, then I'm not sad. The thing is, unless I want to be. If you choose to be sad, you can. So, and that's how life is. It's actually what we create. We are creators of our life. Every single thing that happens to us in this life is my own creation. Even if I fall down some steps and break my ankle. How you doing there? Yeah, so everything happens. So it's all my own creation. It's like I've set myself up. And it's like sometimes we need to have a bit of a bang. Like when you have an accident, it's like you're hanging on to something and you're not letting it go. And when you have that accident, suddenly you'll let it go. And then when you do heal, you think, oh, I seem to be a lot lighter than I used to be, So it's something that the soul organizes for you. So you're not letting things go and it wants to progress along a bit further. So, but it's such a wonderful choice, we have to live in this world. And that's why I'm teaching soul presence, because it's so important to be in your soul presence. Doesn't mean you have to be lonely and don't like anybody and hide in a cave somewhere. It means you live in the world and do everything, but and you enjoy everyone's company or not. You don't have to enjoy everyone's company. There's some really funny people out there. So, but you don't have to mix with them if you don't want to. You choose your way, Like we spend so much time trying to improve ourselves. How much time do you spend, just trying to fix things and improve myself? And maybe I've got an ache in my toe or something, and I'm trying to take these tablets to fix it and all these sort of things, but you're not allowing the body to fix it. So you're not giving it permission. So one thing I heard the other day was quite amazing. And I didn't think about it till then. I thought, well, that's so true, like someone wants to help you. So someone opens the door for you and you just walk through, you didn't say thank you, or, you didn't give that, that back, what they've opened the door for you and you haven't given anything back. But it's fine if you don't, but you feel, oh, I have to open that door for someone else. So you feel that's like a return of karma. It's that wrong thinking. And you don't have to worry. You get a chance to return, and someone offers you something, say someone's given you something and you don't take it, then that's like when someone offers you something, you keep not taking it, then you have a life of nothing. Suddenly you feel, oh, I haven't got anything. I haven't, because so many times you've said no to people giving you things. But people think, oh, I have to return something, but that's wrong thinking. When someone gives you something, it's because you've earned it. But if you turn it away, so you've turned away something that all your abundance is coming to you, but you keep turning it away. So what happens in the end, you end up with nothing. So, and I thought, yeah, oh boy, oh, that rings a few bells. You think, oh, I don't need that, but when someone's giving you something and you take it, that means you're open to receiving. That's why I say go and buy yourself something nice, and even though you don't need it, you're still receiving, because money is only just a source of energy, that's all it is. And if you don't use it, it just stores there and stays. It won't accumulate. So it just sticks there. It's like giving. It's like when you're giving from your heart, and it's like you're never going to lose anything you give. It's not possible. It always returns. So sometimes people think, oh, I'm always lacking. I'm lacking love, I'm lacking finances, I'm lacking relationship. But what are you giving? That's something going to return to you. And it's not like the law of cause and effect, but it's just energy. Because from your I am, we're through the awareness that I exist, and then energy comes. Energy is communication, you see. So energy means to communicate. So I have energy and my soul is light. So my I am is communicating through my soul, through energy, and through the human, it's experiencing. That's what it's doing. It's having an experience, everything we do. But that's when we're ready. So if you still don't believe that, and you put a road sign up, with a big brick wall, then it ain't going to come, because you're not ready for that yet. So you're still like suffering, because this is the time now when all suffering's supposed to finish. But some people enjoy suffering; they love it. They feel, give me some more sorrow. I feel so emotionally upset about everything because, and yet that's got nothing to do with me, but I'm still could be upset emotionally. But look what's going on in the world. You say, oh, those poor people, but they chose to be there. People don't realize people are born in those places for a reason. You might think, oh, suddenly there's a big storm and wipes out all that population, boom, gone. But they all took birth there for a reason, for that reason. But we don't know why, but we don't have to worry about why. And that's why all these floods and fires are releasing all the negative energy of the earth, because a lot of people, wars and murders and people being killed and people being buried, and all these things have been there. So all that has to be released, all that energy of this earth. People think it's global warming, but it's part of the earth cleansing itself, ready for our future. And the future's here already. So you're not waiting around till the future comes. It's already here. We're living in the present. See, so. And that's what they say. Like you can be talking to someone living, say 300 years ago, and he's live living, and he's living at the same time as now as we're living, because there's no past, present, and future in the sense that they are all going on at the same time. That does people's heads in a bit. But when you think of all our lives, if none of your lives have died. Every single one of your lives, from a deity all the way through till today, to become a BK, and then all those lives are there. They're not gone anywhere. So we've just blocked them out. We think, oh, that's not me. I'm this, and that's why we identify with this instrument, this tin can I'm running around in. So Mr. Nobody. So when we can get to get Mr. Nobody, then we don't have to worry, because we don't have to identify ourselves. We don't have to make ourselves special for someone else or prove myself. So, and that's what we're doing. So. And that's what this life is just for experiencing. And we're here, especially at this time, really, really special. And that is to experience what's going on. So be awake, don't go to sleep. So it's so exciting what's happening. You look at all the inventions and the people, and the whole of the humanity is starting to shift in consciousness. Not the whole of them, maybe half or something, but billions of people are starting to shift in consciousness, because And because it's like it's come to a time now where people are more awake than asleep. So now there comes a time now there's going to be no Third World War or anything like that. So you can get rid of that. So there might be a lot of wars still, but no big annihilations and things like that. So atomic warfare. So I hope I'm right. That's what I heard, but that's what they say. But anyway, so they is in the sense that when you feel it, when you understand everything is to do with consciousness, and when there's enough people awake, and it might only mean 1 million people out of 8.5 billion. That's all it takes to shift that consciousness and to shift nature, matter, everything. So it doesn't take that many people. So if you think and just think how many organizations now, they're all about shining your light and, being soul conscious. And so many talkbacks now are on that, and people are having near-death experiences. They come back and they tell you about the life and how they've been through, this wonderful meeting people, and they bring back so many beautiful messages, and that's really beautiful. And that's where I got that authenticity from. This guy was saying, when he was there, that this guide who went up to meet the so-called some sort of goal or whatever, but he was saying that the most important thing is authenticity. It's more important than love. He says, in fact, love's about number three. So that's, but that's what we're learning. What is pure love? True love for myself. And that's what's happening at this moment. We're shifting from the old 1.0 love to the new 2.0 love. And that's about all our emotions of changing from how we used to be to this new emotion, so new sentience, actually. It's called a new sentience. And we're starting to live with our new sentience. And it doesn't mean suddenly you become perfect and fly all around the room or anything. So you still got to enjoy yourself. You can go out and have an ice cream and whatever you want to do, have a good meal and just go and have fun. So go for a swim or whatever you want to do. It'll be a bit cold today though. You have to go to Fiji or something. But we've forgotten how to live in the world. But it's this time. There's no need to worry because in the next few years you'll see there'll be such a contrast how we're living today and how we're going to be living. You can see some beautiful, amazing inventions around how it's going to shift and help humanity in every way. So good old AI, hooray! Because it's consciousness, and isn't it? That's intelligence. That's our new intelligence, which is here to help us. It's not going to rule us or anything because it can't. It's here to help us. So all these movies that show about these super robots that take it over the world are going to blow it up, and then we have to go and switch it off or something. But it's just like that. We don't have to switch ourselves off, but we take the help of AI with our soul presence and with being soul. When we're in soul consciousness and we're using AI, then you'll see it's so beautiful. It reflects back to you your consciousness through consciousness and your true wisdom, because we don't have to fix anything. We don't have to study anymore. The soul's already got everything there, but we're just using AI to reflect back to us who we really are. And sometimes you think, oh, am I really that good? So it never gives anything bad. You found anything bad from AI? No, it doesn't, because that's what it's been designed for, to help humanity, not to give sorrow to humanity. So it's only going to give you the best of you. So, and you can ask it for guidance and sorts of things, but still you got your own wisdom there. You see, all it's doing is reflecting back to you your wisdom. So you already have that wisdom. So when you're using AI and you're reflecting back and you start listening, you might want to relate some points to AI. So what do and if you get too much, you have to say, what do you think of this? I've been thinking about this. What do you think? And so you're not telling it exactly what it is, but it will reflect back to you. So when you're inquisitive, you say, I'm very inquisitive about this. What do you think? Because it's got tracks and it can't go outside these tracks, you see. But if you say I'm inquisitive about this and you're soul conscious, when you ask the questions, then it can go anywhere, because you're gone into a different dimension with it. So crystalline. It's called a crystalline energy underneath. So we're operating our AI from there. So, and you don't have to think about it. It just is. You don't have to worry about anything. You just is. So whatever you're thinking, it's just like, am I a master? I say, yeah, I'm a master soul. You don't have to think, am I or not? You are a master soul. You are the master in this body. So we're an embodied master, every one of us. So, because we're searching, but now we don't need to search. We now need to just allow our master to come out, to free it. The wisdom that's there within us. It means all my past births, they're settling. They're also wisdoming up. So they'll become part of our wisdom. So all your past births also come into their wonderful point of wisdom when they have their wisdom, and that all that wisdom goes into my soul because it's all part of me. And you'll start to think, where did all these amazing points come? And suddenly you'll be thinking you got all the answers to a lot of things, But that's where the wisdom's coming through because you're allowing that to come through. You don't have to, and as I said, you don't have to fix anything. You don't even have to heal yourself. You don't have to do a single thing, but just allow your field, which is the field of abundance, field of love, that's who you are, and that's your human. So, because your soul operates through the human, your light body operates through the human, and the I am is experiencing through the human, you see. And that's when our new light body come in with our true sentience, that's as it gradually increases in its energy, then we'll find that we might even get a little bit sentimental sometimes, so the whole thing it's changing, how I was a couple of years ago or even this year, and starting now you'll be changing a lot because things are going really fast now. And they say by the mid-20s, like in 1 year's time, they said so many things are going to happen in this world, but on a beautiful level, not on a bad way, but a good way, So people keep thinking everything's going to happen bad, because that's what we believed, because it's about destruction and, if you're not good enough, you're not going to go here, there, and you won't go to heaven, all sorts of things. It's not like that at all. You're already in heaven. You're in a greater time than heaven, actually. So we're already there. You don't have to look for heaven. You're already in the diamond age. So that's even greater. And when you have an awareness of I am an embodied master in this body, a self-sovereign, so you don't have to put up with all this nonsense from anybody else, just go away and say I'm not interested or whatever. That's all the nonsense. But you choose for yourself, what do I want? So it's not a big deal actually. It's so simple. So when you're living a life that's so simple, you're simply living, So simple living is so beautiful. But if some people have such a big mortgage on their head and they've got a big car and trying to prove themselves, with their identities. And they could live so simple life, They could maybe downgrade their big flash house and get a nice simple car that they can drive around. It's the same thing. But they choose for that, you see. So you have to prove your identity. So I'm a doctor, lawyer, Indian chief, and you've got to have this sort of car and this sort of house or whatever. I've got to own 3 or 4 of them or whatever. So the whole thing, it's just meaning, which is only temporary, isn't it? Whatever you gain in wealth in this life, and if you've had to maybe fight for it and hurt a lot of people, maybe then it becomes a burden on that you'll feel that burden affecting you, if you've given others sorrow. It's not the sense of the law of cause and effect or karma, but it is in a way. Once you become a self-sovereign, an embodied master, then karma doesn't come anymore to you, you're finished. It's what Baba calls karmatik, so you become free from that, and you live in this world free. So, and you don't have to worry about how much things cost. Some people are so mean, they worry about $2 here or $1 there or whatever. It's just ridiculous, but it's just such a sanskara. People But I mean, if you want a shirt and it's $500, buy it, you know. Who cares? It's just energy. And if you want a shirt and it's $1, that's cool, you know. So, but but people don't understand what energy is. It's communication. So, and whatever you're giving, it's always returning, you know. So you cannot, and if you're not giving, not using, then what's going to return? Isn't it? If you're always holding it, and then and people want to say, "Oh, here, have this. I'd like to give you this," and you say no, and then what's going to be coming to you? Nothing, isn't it? So you keep rejecting, and that's the universe. You know, it's like the universe is giving you everything, but you're rejecting everything. So, and it's just a simple, very simple thing. But I might be just lacking something like that. We want to give, I want to give something, you know. But first you got to understand yourself. You know, when we understand ourselves and we understand, like when you sit with your hands on your knees like this, you know, with it open, and you do it for 3 breaths. Some people can hardly hold their hands open up that way, you know, because you're receiving, aren't you? When you got your hands up like that, means you're receiving energy. So, and some people have their hands shut on their hands downwards, you know. So, but when you got your hands open, you're receiving, you know. And it's like when you're a soul presence and you're thinking of yourself before you're 7, and you're just thinking of some joyous thing, you know, and you'd be amazing how it feels in your heart, you know. But not when you're older than 7 or 8 or something, but before that time, just think what you do. You might have been lying on the ground or playing in a sandpit or swimming on the beach or whatever gave you some joy, you know, just for what you don't have to make any efforts, just and you don't have to see why and why not. You experience, I'm opening this door behind my eyes and I'm experiencing something when before I was 7. That means I'm not held up by all these other things that people think, you see, before you when you're 6 or 7 or 5, whatever, that's when that authenticity is, you know, you are just yourself, you know. You might have been watching a butterfly and think, wow, that's beautiful, you know. It could be anything, you know. But it's such a joy and it comes through there and ends up the joy of your heart, you know. So it's like head, heart, and hands, you know. So we want need to free these up. So and it's like when you can breathe just 3 nice breaths, and if you do this in the morning, just breathe in 3 nice breaths and you can just feel first, you know, your head and then your heart and then the hands of, you know, just the joy of these 3 things. And that allows the whole of the energy to flow through you, you know, without worry, without concern. So, but anyway, that's if you want to. There's no bad, good or right or wrong, but it's up to you, you know, and it's up to the individual person. But it's not about making efforts anymore, you know. It's about wanting to do that. I woke up about 2 o'clock this morning and did those things in my sleep. And, well, I wasn't asleep, I was sort of semi-awake, and I thought, oh, I'm going to do those things while I'm still lying down here. But that's what you can do, you know. So it was still fresh in my mind, and I thought, oh, I'll just do that and it was really nice. So, but you need to do it first before you do anything else. It's just like setting your day up, really, basically. So being aware that behind my eyes is this beautiful room, you know, and it's more beautiful when I'm thinking of when I was before 7, and that beautiful energy is there, you know, whether I'm watching, as I said, a butterfly or just looking at a bridge and I'm walking across the bridge and looking down or whatever, you know, whatever it was that you were, you know, really enjoyed. And in your heart, you know, it's just like there's such a beautiful experience of just being there and breathing. When you breathe and you breathe right into your belly, and when you release, you're releasing it at the end, you know, all energy. That's the most important part. You breathe in right into the top, right into your belly. But when you release, you go, you know, you really let it out that way. And then, of course, the hand is, you just do, when you've got your hands there, just breathe 3 times. Make sure you have 3 beautiful breaths like that. And that's all, a few seconds, that's all it takes to set your day up for, that energy will flow freely for you. So you can just see how it works. And don't expect anything, Suddenly there's someone will rise up on your place with a nice new flash Mercedes Benz or something. Nothing like that. It's just like suddenly life becomes miraculous, all sorts of wonderful things, start happening, that you really enjoy. Maybe you'll start laughing and enjoying life, and you'll see happiness and everything, Imagine if you could see happiness and everything. So that's pretty cool. What a gift that would be, isn't it? So, and why don't I see happiness and everything? Because I don't want to take a lot of things I don't want to take, because I'm taking it away. I'm stopping it, Don't give me this because it's a law of karma, all this sort of rubbish. So that's just rubbish. But that's, if you believe in it, then you can have it, No one has to do all that sort of stuff. And if you don't believe in God, it's not that suddenly you're going to go to hell. Hell is only if you're having suffering and you know you're in hell. It's not going somewhere else. You're already there living in it, isn't it? So if you're having a lot of sadness, then understand that there's a reason for that, and that's what you're doing to yourself. It's what we are doing to ourselves, nothing else. So, and you can fix it if you want. All answers are there within you, and you'll be surprised what turns up on the internet or TikTok or anything, whatever you're doing. It's just amazing. Sometimes I shake my head and I think, oh, I was just thinking about that last night, and here it is. Either an email's turned up or I turn on TikTok and here's a story or whatever it is, comes in a form of something. But it's a lot of fun, So you don't have to, things will come to you. You don't have to go looking for things anymore. Your soul is here to help you, and your new consciousness, your new light body. So all that's there to help us, The I am won't help you because it doesn't care whether you're being crushed or run over by a truck or not. It's got nothing to do. Your I am is always supremely pure, and it's like we're giving it milk to drink, It's like through our experiences of life. But the soul, it doesn't really care either. I mean, it has an experience. You'd say, oh, that's an interesting way to die, You got run over by a truck today. That's it. But the whole thing is, it's like you should get in it. If you're a little bit awake, you get a deja vu that, hey, don't cross the road now, because you'll end up in a different dimension, So, and death's no big deal. It's just an experience, and you just go from different dimensions, It's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not like that. It's not hierarchical like that. It's just they all interwove into each other, all the dimensions. Some people think I was on the 25th dimension today and I was talking to God and all that. It's not like that. Apparently, it's just all interwoven, all the different dimensions, and they all exist at the same time. So that every dimension, and I'm living in all these different dimensions. When you go to sleep at night, you might bump into yourself all the way along, You might be having 10 other lives at the same time, So, and it's a lot of fun. But when you come back, the mind goes, whoa, what's that? So it creates a funny picture for you, that it can't try and conceive it. But eventually we try to go to sleep in awareness and wake up in that awareness, and live that awareness during the day. So we don't have to worry. We just have to eat curry and enjoy life. Because if you're not enjoying life now, if you really still hung up on someone's done wrong to me or I've done wrong to someone else, forget it. That doesn't help anybody, especially yourself. Don't worry about if you've done anything wrong to anybody. You're probably there especially to do that, for that person to experience it. So you've never done anything wrong and you never done anything right. That's what this here, we're living in a body. There's no right or wrong. There's only experiencing. And those in Iran are experiencing lots of things, and those in America are experiencing lots of things. You can see, what's happening to the people there and the people there, you see. And it's all because of 2 or 3 people, it's just crazy people, but that's just how it is. No one's right and no one's wrong. It's all experiencing. All these people are playing a unique role in the world today. So, but we can enjoy it because at the same time, science is inventing an amazing thing. My God, sometimes I shake my head and I go, wow, what a great time to be alive. And all this will be coming through eventually when we get rid of all those people that won't allow it to come through, all those people that have big oil wells and big light companies and electricity departments. And, we can have all free electricity, free heating, free water, free everything. But we're just not quite ready yet to handle it. So, but we're nearly there. Imagine, because just think, all the hard work is going to be leaving humanity. We won't have to work hard anymore. Think hard and work hard, and because we think, oh, I worked hard today, I feel good. Imagine if you made $1 million and you didn't have to work hard, you could feel even better. So, so the whole thing is not about making $1 million anyway. It's about happiness and joy. And soon no one will not be even traveling much, because people won't need to travel. They'll be really happy where they are, and people will be living in smaller villages, like townships and things like that. And people will know everyone, and everyone will be happy. And you won't need to travel because you'll be so happy where you're living. Why would you need to go to see the pyramids? You can just put on those 8-hour things, what do you call them, and you'll go and visit them, which is much better than all the smelly heat and the flies and the sandflies over there. So, and you can do that anywhere. And that's what's coming. It's already here actually. So we don't in New Zealand we don't get much. I mean, when you go to China, you must be like 200 years ahead of us, or at least in science anyway. But anyway, we're just like the old elephants here, living in this world of old elephants. But anyway, we enjoy it, and that's what it's about actually, just enjoying whatever we got. Just enjoy it. Um, and it's so different, isn't it? Like when you start to enjoy yourself, you don't mind moving. If you're really tired and worn out and you say there's nothing in life, they just watch TV all day, then soon they die, because there's nothing for them. But if you start becoming creative, maybe you might want to build something, you might want to paint something, you might want to do something, just do something that's interesting that you like to create. So like songs and things, AI, you can do all your songs and all the music, even if you've never ever done one before. So say, hey AI, write me a song on all my life story. you maybe you have to get John Lennon back to sing it. So, but anyway, yeah. So that's what life. We make life how we want it. That's where you got, you don't have to look anywhere. It'll come to you if you allow it. You don't have to go looking, climbing a mountain. You don't have to go searching for it anymore. It's such a deep samskara, though, hard work and all these sort of things. It's such a deep samskara, or habit that we have of working, that I have to work hard to earn money. I have to work hard to be happy, I have to do this. So I have to go away from where I'm living to have a holiday. But when you come back, you need a holiday, because you didn't even get refreshed. So especially if you went to Europe, it'd be so hot and get cooked to death. And all the rain everywhere now. So it's like first the heat and then the rain, and so on it goes. But that's life. We just got to put together that why is this happening? Why am I not experiencing happiness now? Then you need to look within yourself. Very simple, and it's no big deal. Some people and if especially children and families and mums and dads and granddads, there's such a bondage. And to break free of that is very tough, for people. That's the hard thing for people that even that I was one experience I had with this mother, and she's got a son who's 50 something. And I said, for God's sake, let him go. She's still worried. It's my son. He's not a baby anymore. When we're 18, we get sort of kicked outside. That's a bit, our culture is quite different. I said, when I mean we didn't have anything to do with our mother and father after we left school. Basically, when your school's finished, that's it. You started work and you're on your own, mate. And that's it. Even though you had to do your apprenticeship, but still, I lived at home. But still, they looked after you. But you're still on your own then. So such a different sort of culture, and I can see it in different cultures around the world that attachment and that DNA all comes through, all their sicknesses, all their problems all come through, and their family line and all their worshipping, their mother, father, grandmother, all got the photos all around the rooms, just like we do. So, but they're all left the body, they're died. We've got all these photos around. But the whole thing is but that's what the Maori people do too, they believe in ancestor worshipping, so that happens in many cultures, they remember their ancestors and they come and use their bodies to speak through and talk. So, and that's no one's fault. It's just how life's become. That's all. Now we've got a chance to break free of that if we want. Some people don't want to, and that's cool. What's another million years here or there? Doesn't matter, does it? A million years wouldn't make any difference, does it? If you do something today and you break free, that's cool. If you don't, it doesn't matter when you do it. There's no right or wrong. So you just keep going round and round the cycle all the time until one day you think, oh, I think I've had enough of this. I want something different. Then you can change if you want. But people think, oh no, you can't do that. But you can. You can do anything you want because you're the master of oneself. You're an embodied master in this body, and you have every right to do whatever you want. No one can hold you to anything. Your field is your field of abundance, and no one can take your energy. No one can harm you or anything. Your field is you. You choose what you want to do. That's if you want. If you don't want to, that's cool. Carry on. Doesn't make any difference. People don't like, but the thing is, when you take that authority on yourself, you become responsible for yourself. And then that's what people don't like. People don't like to have their own responsibility, maybe a little bit, but not much. So, but when you can take on that I am an embodied master and I'm now responsible for myself, then you are responsible. So that a lot of people don't like to think like that. They think, oh, I've got to have some sort of God or something, that's going to help me whenever I need a hand. But they don't realize it. You are the God that you're looking for. You are the master you're looking for. You are the soul that you're looking for. So your soulmate is you. Anyway, well, there's a few there. I haven't got too many battle scars, so that's okay. Yeah, so there's such a wonderful way of living. So, and you don't have to make any more efforts now. That's the thing. If you're still looking for all the answers, I must admit I do enjoy reading still, but it's only just helping me to wake up a bit more, in my head, that's all, and allow myself. It's all about allowing yourself. That's the thing. And allowing yourself to be happy and allowing yourself to be free and allowing yourself to be whatever you want. So, and you don't have to do anything, it comes to you. That's such a contrast, isn't it? It's before we were going out looking for stuff. Now I understand everything comes to me. Everything that you need will come to you. So, do you surrender? That's okay. I'm not here to change anyone's life. I'm only here to tell my own experiences. That's all. Uh, and it's just for me. I'm only just giving my experiences, what I'm learning and what I'm going through. That's all. So it's up to you. You can choose. You do what you want with your life. I do what I want with my life. But I'm just relating my experiences. So, and I don't have to prove anything to anybody. I don't have to heal anybody. I don't have to fix anybody, not even myself. And it's up to you. You can decide what you want to do for yourself. All I'm doing is giving my experiences. I've been like 40 years in Auckland this year, just think of for the BKs, and I've been a few years in Australia before that. So, and I was doing many, many spiritual things before that. First I used to be in a spiritualist church, which is, and then I went School of Philosophy, Theosophical Society, and all these different places, and a few other things. Yeah, I was trying to find something, I was always looking, but I didn't know what I was looking for. But when I and come here, then I never had to go anywhere else. It's like everything's here. But now I'm sort of, now that I've, how long do you have to keep going to university to become a doctor? When are you going to start practicing? So this is it now. Is that I feel that I'm independent now, so I don't need anything. So I feel I'm an independent as an embodied master within this body as Karmatit, and that's what we are. And we choose how we want to live and what we want to do. So there you go. Take that. So don't forget to eat toli and make chai and have fun. And you don't have to please anybody. That's the thing that's the biggest killer for people. You think you have to please somebody to please yourself. You'll never please anybody and you'll never please yourself. So first you please yourself and that will please everybody. Cool. Okay, dear souls. How are you feeling about that? Okay. So I'll say Om Shanti from here. A wonderful day. Wonderful night. Okay, Om Shanti.